Hi, I'm Anika Ray. I'm a spiritual intuitive teacher, coach, and I'm really passionate about helping you, spiritual seeker and light worker, navigate your path and your life with more awareness, with more empowerment, and with guidance that can serve you. Now, in this video, I am going to offer you some intuitive spiritual guidance, and I mean spiritual because it is going to be about really infusing spirituality and spiritual awareness into your life. Now, this can also apply to your regular everyday life, and this is going to be the first part. The second part, we're actually going to ground it a little bit, and we're going to use psychic tool such as tarot and oracle cards to ground and offer you more messages and guidance about anything that you're dealing with. This reading is collective, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest. And it's also timeless. That means whenever you're tuning in, it is the right reading for you. Now we're going to jump right in. And the first thing that I am perceiving or receiving intuitively from Spirit is that there is light around you, whether you choose to believe it or not. And this light shows up in different versions of it, sometimes as the presence of the divine itself, like that presence of grace. Sometimes it is about invoking the light, and invoking it means calling in the light, connecting to your guides, to your higher self, to your angels. And even if you don't know how to do that consciously, maybe you're not a practicing spiritual practitioner, what's coming through is to really invoke it through intention. So call in the light, close your eyes, connect to the light that's present within you and around you, and allow that light to illuminate all of the difficult things that maybe you're dealing with in your life. I do see a lot of emotional turmoil. So perhaps for some of us, there are a lot of emotions. And really, when I say emotions, I mean some negative things that are present upon us. So for some of you, this is connected to family members. This could also be pets. So anything that is emotional, it could be an illness, a condition, something that is happening, addictive patterns. Now, I know this is some heavy stuff, but it could be even just lighter, like some sort of blocks that are happening in your life, or this is also very much, I'm feeling the presence connected to family members. Now, what's coming through is, in this case, to recognize, first of all, if this is about family member, that show them compassion. And again, that light that you carry within you. The compassion is a quality that we all have within us. It is the quality of the light itself. So extend that compassionate hand in a way that serves you. It doesn't have to be a big gesture. It could just simply be listening to this person, or just giving them that sense of compassion through just a compassionate touch. Now understand that whatever they're going through, whatever they're experiencing, it is a part of their soul journey. So sometimes it's hard to accept that it is a part of their soul journey, but also it could be deeply affecting us if we are suffering alongside them, specifically for people that are dealing with illnesses. I know I have a sick dog right now, and she's like a family member to me. She has a heart condition, and I know she will part ways with me pretty soon because she's older, and this is not something that has a cure. So really just honor that soul's path, whether it's a human or a non-human, in a sense of like an animal companion that you have. Also acknowledge that there is or might be a lesson for you to learn from this person's experience. I mean, some people and animals have signed up for some heavier lessons, like illnesses or addictions, and we may be learning in a sense from them. We do not need to experience their suffering. For those of you that are empathic or resonate as empaths, you do not have to wear or bear that burden of their karmic or soul lesson, but you can be compassionate and learn from it. And what you're learning could be simply compassion or more love or unconditional love. And ask yourself, what is this person teaching me? What are they allowing me to understand? In my case, I'm really learning that it is okay to grieve. It is okay to love this deeply and to understand that the love doesn't stop even when my animal is on the other side. Essentially, this is the lesson of unconditional love and also healthy detachment. And that also brings us to the theme of relationships. A lot of you may have questions about finding a relationship, being in a relationship, or healing the relationship. Sometimes that can be a relationship with self, or it could be a relationship with other people. And again, this emotional turmoil that's kind of been a theme of the reading as well could also be impacting you and your relationships. Now, what is coming from Spirit is that relationships can be very cyclical. They can go through stages. As a matter of fact, it's a very human thing to go through stages, including the relationship with self. I mean, we call that sort of like that honeymoon period, and that's really what's coming from Spirit is, what if you are in that honeymoon period and all of a sudden it ends? So to really understand the cycle that goes and that is tied into relationships. So ask yourself, where are you in the cycle? What cycle? What is this quality surrounding this particular cycle? Sometimes it can be a power struggle, right? We don't get along. It can be a lot of conflicts, a lot of opinions. And within self, there could be a lot of doubts, a lot of fears that are coming up. And then ask, what can be just the next step that we can take that is for our highest good and that other person. Also, for some of you, is this relationship really at the point of no return and sometimes not salvageable in a human way? Sometimes it's just a relationship that is run its course. And can you love and accept yourself in this position if you have to let this person go in a way? There's always going to be a soul connection between you and that person. But if you have to let them go for some reason, then have the courage and find that within yourself to let it go. Now, that may be a process. It may not be an overnight thing, but I would just highly encourage you to be honest, and acceptance is a big part of honesty and a big part of healing. Then when it comes to self, where is this leading you in integration and relationship with self? For a lot of us, and this is what I'm perceiving, it could be leading you into inner child healing. Now, I know this may sound like a cliche, but it really is not, because this inner child, a lot of times in different stages of relationship, shows up. And it could be an inner child from different times in your childhood. Sometimes it's a very much like a young adult, but sometimes it is a newborn child and things that are still affecting you from the womb, from your mother's womb. The emotions that you may have picked up from your mother. It could be for some of you, I do see some sort of, and I hate to call it abusive, but it could have been that very unstable childhood. Even since you were in a womb, it could have been your parents arguing, not being on the same page. Maybe this was an unstable, like I mentioned, childhood with a lot of turmoil, with a lot of verbal, harsh language that you have adopted towards self as a part of self-talk. So there is a need for you to check with yourself and where your relationship with self is also leading you. How far does this healing go and into this inner child healing. And you can heal your inner child by simply having an honest conversation, again, extending that compassion towards your inner child, but this time in a visual exercise, like a meditation, or you can have a like a proxy, like an animal, stuffed animal. I know it sounds weird, but I've done this and it has helped me out quite a lot. Some healers have suggested that to me. Kind of have an animal that you like. Maybe it's a cute animal. I have a unicorn right behind me. So I'm very much airy-fairy. And I love to have that as a proxy for my inner child and to just have a conversation. I know it sounds really odd and weird, but it is very helpful. And for those of you that want to write a letter to this aspect of inner child, that's the same thing. You can do the same thing. Write a letter to your inner child expressing that compassion and love for this aspect of self that you may feel that deserves this additional attention. Now, these are some themes that we have picked up on. Maybe some of these messages have served you. Maybe they have not. Take what resonates. And then we're going to jump into part 2, which is working with tarot and oracle. And I will see you there. Welcome to our second part, our tarot and oracle reading. Let's ground this reading into the 3D and offer you some more personalized guidance. I am going to shuffle very lightly. I am guided to particular tarot decks, and I also use intuitive sight as to what I pull out. Now the spirit is guiding me to pull out a specifically number of cards. So from this tarot deck, I'm pulling out 4 cards, and then we're going to go towards the oracle. I will list the tarot cards, as we actually go towards the end of the reading. You will have that. So let me just move this so we can see these cards really clearly. And I'm going to also tell you what I'm seeing. So we have a 10 of air. So maybe it's also bring it closer to you so that you can see it. So there's this 10 of air card, and it is about what we talked about, this light or illumination. 10 of air is 10 of swords. So what is immediately guiding me to is your thoughts and your beliefs. As we talked about in the intuitive part of light being really everywhere, sometimes our thoughts, though, are not always rooted in the light or lightness. So what I'm sensing is the presence of some negative thoughts. Sometimes these thoughts are not even coming from you. This could be someone in your surrounding areas. We talked about a family member. So you may be picking up a lot of negative thoughts particularly when it comes to self. And this could be self-loathing thoughts or self-deprecating thoughts or anything that has to do with self. You may be picking this up from you yourself, right? From childhood, but also your surrounding is not the most loving at this moment. Maybe you're getting some toxicity from family, it could be work, it could be anything like environmentally. You could be surrounded by some toxins, but it's really affecting your head. And what Spirit is also telling me is to maybe even cover your head as you are sleeping at night, protecting your head, maybe even doing some clearing of your third eye, doing some clearing of your crown chakra, really checking with these upper chakras specifically that has to do with mind. Some of you can be borderline, maybe dealing even with slight depression at times. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, but this is what's coming through these cards. So look for that light luminosity within you, address these thoughts, see if they're coming from you or other people. The best way to deal with thoughts is a lot of times to find the origin, where did they come from, and ask if they're my thoughts, if they're not. Also allow yourself to journal your thoughts, notice any repetitive things, and open yourself up to healing. Now, this is a very interesting, it's a Six of Earth. This is about Six of Pentacles, but it's a very interesting, card, and it's a very beautiful card that actually talks about earthly energies. So grounding is very important for you. You may be very sensitive. You could be very sensitive to earthly things, such as I mentioned, toxicity in nature, or how the nature is being mistreated by us, the humans, right? So there's a twofold message here. One is use this grounding energy of the earth to help you ground as you're going through anything toxic that is showing up in your life. And number two is use resources from the earth to help you ground, to help you heal, to help you purge any kind of toxicity. And, Six of Pentacles is really at times, right? The Pentacles are about material world. So if you do have any struggles with any level of material world, examine that, but in a very compassionate way. A lot of you that are watching this, the traditional explanation of how to actually deal with the 3D material world are no longer supportive to you. So turn back to traditions that are more rooted in nature, like maybe shamanism or any kind of spiritual practices. I see for a lot of you, this could be working with elementals, fairies, any kind of spirits of the nature that could help you out. Animals, your power animals, call upon them in these times where you are really dealing with a lot that's coming from the environment. This is what's very essential here, what came from the first card as well. Now, the third one is the Eight of Fire. Fire is obviously going to be the One's energy. So the One's energy, the Eight of Fire. Now, interestingly enough, again, this light is showing up throughout this whole reading. And it is about the connection to your passion and purposes in your path. Awakening to who you truly are. And it's interesting how we have the fairy energy here. So for a lot of you, you may identify as this, like I do, airy fairy out there. You have these opinions, these thoughts that are very much not of the, everyday person. You're very much believe in the magic, and that's what Spirit is also telling you. Start to believe in your own magic, in the magic of the world, in this magical forest, in you being the magician, even though this is not a magician energy of the magician. And Eight of Wands, it's really about that movement forward with your passion. Finding your inner magic is really the message, essentially what's coming through. And ask help of the magical beings, right? Believe in this Harry Potter kind of thing, but a lot of you are you are alchemist. Like you could be this natural fairy or witch or however you identify yourself with. Tap into that message and this energy. Tap into that. Don't forget your origin, and don't forget that you are the being of light, that you have the magic within you, and that there are magical beings that can help you restore that passion. Because for some of you who have lost passion, perhaps for certain parts of your life, maybe certain people are kind of being very toxic around you and you have lost that passion for them. So it is about restoring your passion. Now, this leads you into this beautiful page of air, which is really the Page of Swords. It is about the new beginnings, but it is also about this beautiful angel that's showing up in this card, reminding you that Spirit, God, universe is with you throughout this process. that it will guide you through this new beginning and new way of thinking. There's an essential need to shift your patterns of thinking. If you are in a loop thinking negatively about self, about the world, because we are really going through challenging times, especially now in the world, and, or what we perceive as challenging, but this is something that, right, there really is the light at the end of the tunnel. And what's really showing up here is feathers. And it makes me think of archangels and angels. So if you resonate with angels, you are a part of that angelic, kingdom. I'm hearing now angels as they're speaking to me and saying that you are that angel, you are that earth angel. I'm not placating anyone, I'm just simply relaying that message. And they're saying that you have so much love for other people, but can you find that beautiful love for self where you are, that beautiful compassion? And they're showing me holding hands with you, these beautiful cherub type of angels holding hands with you as you are going through any hard times. Now, this was a beautiful message. At the end on the bottom of the deck, there is a card that is a 7 of water, which is really a watery, right? This is the energy of water that's coming through, which is more about the moon as well. So if you are a sign like a water sign, maybe a lot of you are water sign. I do see Pisces energy again, the 7 of water is really that energy of water signs. And even if you're not a water sign, connect to the energy of water that is very purifying and cleansing. Now, besides the water, we do have other signs. We have the air, the earth, the fire signs. So we have pretty much everyone here. But specifically, I am picking up on a lot of water here. So if you're a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, I also am picking up on the earth. So any earth signs, I am an earth sign myself. I do have some fire in my chart, but I don't have any water. So earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, this can apply to you. And I'm definitely seeing some Libra energy here, which is that air, very Libra energy present. So if you're a Libra, this may resonate, but all the signs are included, the fire signs, Leo, Sag, and Aries. And I'm seeing a lot of Aries here. So this could resonate with all signs because we have them all represented. The 7 of water, the cups energy, is the wish fulfillment. This cycle of you learning, going through this process is about a new rebirth. It is about new way of thinking, and it's about emotional fulfillment and managing your emotions in a more healthier way, in a sense. Not that you have not been managing in a healthy way, but we're all this empathic beings, and sometimes we get overwhelmed with how to manage this energy. A lot of angelic presence, fairy presence, also the presence of Pleiadian light, which if you're into star seeds, the Pleiadian light is the light of healing. The color that I'm seeing is what I'm wearing even today. There's a lot of green, a lot of blue. Connect to the colors of green and blue. The numbers that I'm seeing, I'm going to mention a little later because I am being drawn to talk about numbers, but I am seeing a lot of threes, 333, that adds to 6. We do have a 6 and 8 and a 10 and a 7 here, but I'm seeing at the root of it a lot of threes, which means checking in with your mind, or aligning your mind, your heart, and your spirit. So now I'm being guided to go into the Oracle deck, which is the Priestess of Light, which personally I really love this deck, and I want to see what kind of priestesses do actually show up for us here. Maybe they have a specific message for us. I'm very excited about that. Okay, here we go. It's brilliant beliefs. So we're gonna let's put this on the side here, and I'm gonna show. And then we do have hidden knowledge, Akashic records. This is something I do. I'm being guided to pull 2 more cards. So a lot of priestess energy here. You may be a high priestess yourself. Earth magic, that makes sense. This is kind of what we have been talking about. And interesting left is setting boundaries. I'm pulling these cards both intuitively and with the shuffling. I am an intuitive reader, so if you are drawn to me, you will be drawn to intuition. Let's start with the brilliant beliefs, luminous life force, and personal power. Wow, well, this really talks about something that we've been kind of tapping into, which is this brilliant beliefs, right? We're shifting our beliefs and we're coming into the space of personal power. As you shift these beliefs, because these are repetitive thoughts, a lot of them can be negative. Again, we mentioned not from you all the time, could be from the environment, but it is connected to shifting your beliefs. And this beautiful goddess comes to us to talk about these shifting your beliefs, and that's going to help you step into the personal power. Now, I am going to read a little bit. I like to really know which priestess this is. It looked like some sort of Pleiadian. I'm almost getting this probably more serious than Pleiades, but let me see what Sandra and Taylor, who is the author of this, says here. This is the priestess of the galactic sky as she emerges from the night with a luminous ball of ethereal light. This priestess is telling you that, like her, you can project a brilliant life force energy out into the world. Her heart center shines with the light of her divine origins. The glow of her true identity encircles her head and emanates brightly from her brow and crown chakra, yet she is no more powerful than you. You have come from the same luminous source. Your affirmation that you can use with this is, and it's what this card is asking you, is to embrace that personal power, that luminosity. The affirmation you can say is, I choose to believe in my unlimited power, value, and deserving. My life force shines with the light of my divine source. Wonderful. Now we have this hidden knowledge, the 52, and I am sensing a lot of, like Egyptian energy. I'm really sensing a lot of, also they're saying something from the Byzantine temples. I'm not even sure that this is like anything could be relevant for you, but this is the combination of the energy of the moon and the hidden realm. So everything that's hidden can come up to the surface. And anything that is hidden could be from this world or the other. So subconscious thoughts, any kind of karmic past, anything that it's tying you down. Set an intention to come through and to illuminate it, to give you a discernment, to give you an understanding of what this card really represents, which is this goddess really of the hidden knowledge. It reminds me of one of my past life expressions of Shesset, which is the guide of the Akashic records, or the really guide of the unknown, in a sense of writings and in a sense of that spiritual hidden knowledge. Now let's look into what does this mean as well. Here is the priestess of Lynx, gazes at the world with silent understanding. Supernatural outside is attributed to this lynx. Lynx is, again, could be Egyptian, right? Giving it the ability to see what is secret or hidden. This is what I just mentioned. Its tufted ears symbolize clairaudience. So clairaudience is really important. The ability to hear what isn't being said. This represents your power at this time, right? Everything that you need to come up to surface, you can. The affirmation you can read is, I am blessed with intuitive wisdom. I receive helpful insight from the Akashic records whenever I may need it. I read the Akashic records, so it is very appropriate to me. I read them in a different way than just intuitively. And if you follow my channel, you can find my Akashic records readings on this channel as well. Now, this is very interesting because, again, it talks about this magic. Remember, I mentioned the magic before. This is earth magic, this goddess of earth magic, and it really shows me different goddesses here. It shows me the goddesses from different times, but also different locations. I'm getting a lot of goddesses that are goddesses of fire from Ireland. I'm getting like the Viking Viking theme. So Viking goddesses. I'm getting also some natural goddesses, Celtic, and I'm getting some Native American sage or medicine women. But and I'm also getting the presence of Mother Mary and Queen Yin. Even though we're going to read what the author had to say, what I'm sensing is that tap into that magic of who you are as a sage, as a medicine woman. Don't forget that you are the alchemist, you are the mystic. Embrace that part of yourself. I'm being literally shown an image of a woman that could have been you from the past life, doing some rituals in the name of the light and spirit, and you assisting the earth, you healing through herbs, you healing through that natural magic, you using the medicine wheel, using all of that. This could be a lot of our past lives, but that's what I'm sensing here. And also to connect, right, to that strength within you. That's why it says fearlessness and removing obstacles. So let's see what the author had to say here about this, but I'm very inspired about, with this oracle card. And it is about energy of this priestess of the horse, brings movement and magic into your life. The horse, a creature of power, has long represented freedom. This card signals that it's time for you to free yourself of the obstacles blocking your movement forward. We just talked about all of this. It's rounding the reading quite nicely. You may have been hesitant or even afraid to face these obstacles before, but there's a greater courage growing within you now. The affirmation you can use is, I have the power to remove any inner or outer blocks. I am fearless in my choice to honor myself and my life. Okay, this was super powerful. I felt it. And then really nicely to round this reading, this oracle reading with these cards, is setting boundaries. This is a beautiful card. And again, the animals are so present in these cards. It's so beautiful. We have, again, a tiger, if I'm not mistaken, in a lot of this cat and horse energy here, which are extremely powerful energies. And this is, again, leading me to some past lives. I'm going to say that this is very much connecting me to Atlantis. If you believe in Atlantean energy, this is about healing through alchemy. And this is about you setting boundaries around yourself, protecting yourself. This is about you knowing where these boundaries need to be, how to cleanse yourself. This whole process of you picking up things could be also you cleansing yourself from any negativity, protecting yourself, psychic protection, energetic protection. A need for you to use even stronger protection in some times through this, maybe using herbs. For a lot of you, I see using herbs, using magic in a good way, right? Protecting yourself with magical rituals because you are a powerful being of light. Many people can be drawn to your energies and drawing or draining your energy out of you. So protection is very crucial. And so I'm going to read, this is a very, very powerful card, right, that came through here. Very powerful guidance. It is about the priestess of threshold. Holds up her hands with palms outward, projecting a field of protective light before her. The strong and stately snow leopard who lives a solitary life in the highest reaches of the mountains look over her shoulder, standing guard. This card brings you a message of both caution and encouragement. It's time to take an honest look at your boundaries you set, How do you view your importance in your own life? Are you sacrificing your priorities and self-care to prioritize the need and wishes of others? That is a good question because that's what I was picking up in a tarot cards as well. Affirmation is I choose to make myself my own priority. I have the power to set boundaries and honor myself always. Wonderful. Now we're going to leave the spread as is, and I'm going to, on top of that, around it with some numerology. This is what I'm being guided to use, these 3 decks. So numerologically, let's see what comes through, if any other symbol or energy of the numbers come through. I'm getting financial discipline. This can be affecting, right, your finances in some way. I'm also getting, here we go, compassion. Compassion towards self. And I'm guided to pick one more card. And I'm guided to pick this patience. Now, I'm also going to give you some numbers here. 48, 99, and 2. So individually as well, 4, 8, 9, and 2. And interestingly enough, 4 and 8 add to 12, that is a 3. So, green, this is, if you can see, this is a heart chakra. So not only is this connected to the financial discipline, but I'm really getting this as a point of abundance. So a lot of these things that's happened to you could be connecting you to this, blockages in your heart space and blockages as to you actually getting some abundance coming your way. So allow yourself, as you're going through this process, to use this numerology, use these numbers, and also to go into your heart space and receive whatever it is that you need at this time. More love, more compassion, more abundance. This also is compassion. This card 99 really represents 9, which is ending. So it's time to end these cycles of you sort of being compassionate towards just other people, but not maybe being compassionate towards self. And just know, again, this is a crown chakra issue as well. Allow this to come from the universe. Open up your heart, crown chakra on the top of your head. And interestingly enough, the sacral chakra, the number 2, the patience that comes through. And this is about being patient with yourself primarily. You are used to a specific type of maybe approach, behavior. Listen, I'm not an exception in this. This reading is also for me. So I can really re-examine how much patience and compassion I have towards myself. And the same thing for you. Check in with yourself. I mean, how much do you actually have patience for self? How much do you actually have compassion towards self? And how open you are to receiving what is really yours. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed this reading. I hope that it was helpful to you. I'm sending you lots of love and light. And until next time, my friends, stay grounded, stay open to the divine, and stay connected to yourself and your soul. Namaste.